What is up, y'all? Capone Tony here, and we got a new content update with Ever Crisis, you guys. So the thing that immediately caught my eye was the new banner. So I didn't know we were gonna get a new banner, and kind of surprised. So we got Tifa and Zack, new weapons, new costumes. So let's just dive into that right now. There we go. So let's start with the try on one. So we got Tifa in this costume, bro. This is fantastic. It's like a kind of a Princess Leia kind of like outfit in a way. But man, this looks really good. I really like it. Just beautiful cosmetic. But actually going into the feather style, which is the name, we got boost HP and boost to buff debuff extension. So kind of interesting that they finally give buff debuff extension to Tifa. Let's actually go to her weapon because I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll see how it does, how it goes with her weapon. So with the feather gloves, she's dealing. Okay, we'll just do it. One level 120. You deal 260% physical non-elemental damage, crit rate 10%. She debuffs magic defense mid, single enemy, and maxes out at mid. And when 50% more HP, she does a water damage is increased. So, is that the first weapon in the game that actually you can boost your elemental potency? Because that's pretty awesome. Because she just literally had a water Arcanum with a water weapon, right? In the previous banner, the bunny stuff. So, just off the bat, that's pretty sick. If you combine this weapon with that weapon, like, I mean, as long as both of them are magic, right? So, yeah, it looks like both of these weapons are magic, so that's gonna pretty much pair perfectly together. So, yeah, if you go to put this at OB6, the duration lasts a little bit longer. It still stays at mid for magic defense decrease, but it goes to potency at high for water damage increase in 30 seconds. So, if you combine it with that buff debuff costume, this thing's gonna last for a long time. But honestly, man, if you drew on that bunny costume in the previous banner, but that had a water Arcanum, right? Water Arcanum and magic ability potency, you're cooking. Like, and plus, look at this, 3 ATB. That's sick. So just cast 3 ATB. You're debuffing magic defense. You're increasing your water potency. Plus, look at the R abilities at 6239. 6239. That's pretty sick, man. Combine it with her bunny costume, which every time she uses it, she's dealing water elemental damage. Or her bunny gloves, I mean, she's dealing water elemental damage and increasing her magic attack. So she is just utility crazy with the combination of these two weapons. And if you had that bunny costume for Arcanum, sick. And look at this, you get sigil boost, and you know, if you don't have the bunny gloves and you don't have that, then you could literally just use this water materia slot. So there you go. I mean, as a standalone weapon, I think it's decent. It's okay. But combine it with those bunny gloves and possibly that bunny costume. Like, I don't think this costume... I think this costume does go with this weapon. It actually goes with Tifa's whole kit because, you know, she has the... let's actually go into our weapons. So Tifa literally, you know, she has a bunch of weapons that do utility. So she can do what P attack is decreased with leather gloves. She can do magic attack is decreased with tiger fangs. So the buff debuff duration will help with those. But honestly, you literally kind of just use these before like a big attack, essentially. So I don't think it's really buff debuff is really needed, honestly. It does help this weapon because there is just so much utility packed into it. But honestly, I think if you drew that for that bunny costume, you're sitting pretty right now. And but because you don't really need the weapon, I mean, you don't need the costume, because if you have the bunny costume, you're not going to need this new costume for Tifa. You just need the new weapon, and you could essentially just draw, I guess, for one copy. You just get one copy of this thing. You're sitting at what, 30 magic attack, 8 water potency, which is okay. But once you max this out, yeah, I mean, no, this is the bunny gloves. My bad. Hold up a second. So yeah, if you get one copy of this, You get 40 attack and 12 water potency, which is pretty nice. And then you get all the utility with just one copy. So the water potency increases mid, the magic defense decreases mid. So combine this, like I said, combine this with the bunny gloves and her bunny costume. If you drew on it, that's the thing. It's kind of unfortunate if you did not draw on it, because I feel like you can't get the best out of this weapon unless you did draw on that bunny costume. That's just my opinion. But yeah, if you just combine her costume with this weapon, it's still pretty decent, but I don't think it's, in my opinion, not like top tier. You know, you do get the water potency boost, but if you don't have that water potency weapon to combine with it, I don't know. Because you'll still do a little bit more damage with just like watera, but it's not going to be good. Not going to be as good if you didn't draw on that the bunny gloves. I mean, you can still get the bunny gloves too, but I'm just saying, if you don't have that water Arcanum, you can't get the most out of this build, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Tifa, man. Personally, I'm not going to draw on this because I missed out on the bunny costume. If I did draw on the bunny costume, I probably still wouldn't draw on this because, like I said, you can still wish list this weapon later on, and the bunny gloves too. So, eventually you can get both of these weapons, but yeah, you can't get the most out of her water build if you didn't get the bunny costume, which is kind of unfortunate, you know. Buyer's remorse if you didn't get it. Or no, that's the wrong word. But anyway, you know what I mean. Yeah. But I kind of wish I did get that water Arcanum. It seems like water is going to be playing a more important role here soon. They've been giving us a lot of water costumes and weapons and stuff, so I think it's going to be playing a role probably in the Shiva Ramu battle, if they do that, like a combination of those. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Tifa. Let's now go into Zack. So Zack's costume, honestly, as a fan of like most of the costumes in this game, I'm not really a fan of this one. I think it looks okay. I'm honestly not a fan of this design. Just my opinion. So Glacier armor. This is an interesting one. So we're getting buff debuff and Frostblade Arcanum. So another Ice Arcanum. This is probably like what? I don't even know how many characters have gotten Ice Arcanum now. Probably like 3 or 4 now. I think it's been 4, honestly. So you got... No, it's probably 5, right? So you got Sephiroth, Cloud in the previous manner, Aerith, Tifa, and now Zack. Yeah, 5 Ice Arcanums. Pretty wild. So from that perspective alone, I probably won't draw on this because I think I'm good on my ice builds. But you know, if you're not good on ice, this could be good for you. So if we actually look at his weapon, the pressure ridge, you get 60 or 620% physical ice damage. This is at OB10, and if you're at 50% more, you get the utility as well, where you can decrease ice resistance. So kind of similar to other weapons, but the thing is, with this, you're actually kind of combining elemental damage with the resistance decrease. So unlike, let's say, Yuffie's weapon, her pinwheel, or Bald Eagle for Lucia, they're just doing non-elemental damage and decreasing ice resist. For Zack, this weapon is actually doing elemental damage and doing that utility as well. So from that perspective, it's actually pretty good. Just the actual elemental potency is just not great. But I guess being able to combine the utility with it makes it a pretty good weapon. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think you know, it's definitely one of his best weapons by easily. But is it one of the best ice weapons? Would you just rather have Cloud's weapon, where he's essentially getting 900% potency with no utility, or would you rather have this, where you're getting 300% less utility with, 300% less damage with the high ice potency, high ice resistance decrease? And yeah, but the R abilities are fantastic. 62p attack, 39 ice potency, pretty sick. You get the X sigil boost. It's a good weapon. Good weapon. but it just kind of depends. Where are you sitting with your ice builds? I mean, for me personally, I have Sephiroth, who's doing pretty good on ice. I got Cloud, who's also very good with ice. So you guys look at it from that perspective if you want to draw or not draw on this. Because honestly, I'm not a fan of the costume itself. I think it's kind of ugly. But from a, you don't have to actually wear the costume. You can actually just use the stats from it and just wear a different costume if you want to do that. But the actual stuff in here is good. You get Frostblade Arcanum and you get the buff debuff extension. I'm not sure how I feel about buff debuff extension though. It's going to help with the utility on this. So essentially this 20 seconds is going to last like 28 seconds instead at OB whatever, OB 0. And then 26 seconds is going to last for like 35 seconds essentially. So, it's going to help make that last longer. But the thing is, you're going to be using this weapon over and over again. So I don't think debuff buff extension is very helpful for this weapon in particular. Because every time you're going to use this weapon, you're just adding more seconds to the utility. So, yeah, not sure how I feel about that. But, I mean, it's got Ice Arcanum. So, that alone, makes it a top-tier costume, just from a stat perspective. But, yeah, I think that kind of covers it for Zack. I guess, what could you combine with it, though? You could use that Ice Weapon, and then, honestly, probably just something like this. Ceremonial Sword Z, you're just getting P attack and physical ability potency. Could do Twinkling Star since you're not getting HP from anything. You'll just get some survivability, you'll get physical ability potency, plus, yeah, you'll get all this other stuff, all this other utility. So yeah, these two would probably work really good with this new weapon. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this banner. It's probably a skip from me, just me personally. I've really drawn on Tifa a lot already, and Zack, I don't know. I've already have a pretty good ice setup, I think, and I don't really need more. So for me personally, I think it's a skip, and I'll just wait to see what is going to be coming next. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this banner. Are y'all going to draw on this? What do y'all think? Is there anything that I kind of left out that I didn't really think about when it comes to observing these costumes and these weapons and whatnot? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content, please give this video a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Later.